Good morning, video morning brief of the U.S. grain markets. It is Monday, Jan 6, 8:58 a.m. Eastern Time. I'm Rich Paz for Critical Point. Running a little late here. Did long update on the stock market. A lot of important stuff going on in the next few days, and going to be a very interesting year. All right, at any rate, and probably so for commodities, especially with Trump tariffs and this and that. At any rate, level 3 top, level 3 bottom might have occurred last Friday. This strength this morning could very well be it. However, we're looking for a level 4 intra-week top today, tomorrow. So it may go up into tomorrow, then down for half a day, couple of days. It may top today and go right back down. I'm personally favoring backing off. I think they got a little carried away, and it's fascinating how carried away they got in the stock market and several commodities. It's like somebody's pushing buttons here to get started, not only for this quarter, this year, but they need to get going for the rest of the month of how they want to trade things, and they must see there's evidence there's more upside than downside right now, okay? Now, when we go into the grains, we can see that there can be more upside on the microeconomics here. All right, at any rate, that could be a level 3 bottom, and it's up and away, and the model is suggesting, yes, higher into next week. We don't have much for upside objectives. But what's going to occur if it takes out that high? We're going to run the critical point from that low to that high, and it's probably going to point to 470. The fundamentals are all over the map of how high it could be. Not that useful this morning. All right, now, even though it's rallied, the stochastic has left overbought and still acting bearish, but it's not acting extremely bearish. It could turn on a dime and bottom. But for the moment, the indicator makes me nervous. This is just a knee-jerk reaction into a level 4 top. They put it right back down in the next couple of days for a level 4 bottom, and they may put it all the way back down so that we find the level 3 trend actually extended or at least turned to stalling out, and the level 3 bottom does not have to show up until the end of this week. But it's likely this week, the latest for a level 3. So we may not be there yet. This might be a knee-jerk reaction, a little taking off here a little too soon. However, if you look at that trend, then look at this trend, then look at that trend. If you look at the weekly chart saying we can be higher priced in Jan and Feb even, gosh almighty, I'm kind of thinking maybe we better go with it and assume there's a level 3 bottom in place now and let the market prove us wrong later, and we deal with it later. Okay. Now, next up, we want to go with the wheat market. Now, that was the March corn I was showing you, but it was on a spot chart. Now, the wheat market can bottom as of Friday. This may only be a level 4 top today, tomorrow, just like the corn market. It may bump its head on the 5-day average. I do not trust this one to the upside as much as I might trust corn to the upside. Both markets can still back off this week. This could be just a knee-jerk reaction, but I'm not ready to say I want to load up on wheat. I'd rather load up on corn and be flexible. I think you do have to be flexible in corn in the next few weeks, even if it is going up a lot, because it's kind of already getting a little too carried away anyways. Now, there is some issues in South America that can get things excited on the corn side and some of these other markets. We still have winter wheat issues, but they've kind of bowed out of those for a little bit here. Maybe they'll want to revisit. Now, this wheat chart has a more bearish acting spread on the indicator and leaving mid-range, but it's still close enough to mid-range. It could turn on a dime. It may be a buy, but I don't think so. I think I got to miss out on this one, but there will be a level 3 put out here into next week, just like we did for the corn. We need to move this over. Sorry, I should have done that. I don't have anything for upside objectives. If it is going higher, we'll get that in coming days. First, we just have to see how it behaves today, because I'm convinced tomorrow and the following day is a level 4 pullback. I'm a little concerned they might bounce it to the 5-day average, knock it down, and if they don't knock it down all the way to the bottom or lower and then take it higher still, then I can get more bulled up for the level 3, even though I'll also start being a little late. But at the same time, I might even get more build up for Jan Feb off those larger trends. So we may be setting up for a ready, set, go pattern. They're ready. They pull it back. They don't take out last week's low and then put it higher still. So that'd be the set and then the go. And that's the entry point, hopefully, for something larger than a level 3. Okay. So at any rate, I'm just kind of watching corn, but I got to warn you, it can bottom this week and no later. I'm watching corn and wheat for a chance to move higher. Okay, now let's go to the soybeans. And on the soybeans, I also don't want to really chase after this. This could be a level 3 bottom here today. Problem is, it can take all of this week, and I'm double checking my notes. It should not take any longer than this week for a level 3 bottom. And I must say, I'm impressed that they put it down and retrace all of that as soon as they have, all right, and got it back above the 5-day average. I'm concerned that's a longer trend. We've got something going there, maybe with South America finally on the bull side, and also the realization maybe the world isn't going to come to an end here with the Trump stuff, and maybe the tariffs can work fine and we get a very nice economy and not create too much inflation, and therefore we can create somewhat higher commodities instead of much higher because of much higher inflation. Can be a sweeter moment here. We may also have more fear buying around the world of where are we going with tariffs and Trump, okay? But I think for the moment, this is really more microeconomics where they just need to buy to take care of business. The sell side's holding out. They sold enough during harvest now that they got to wait and try to work at selling it higher into summer and get better prices as they dwindle away their supply. And then also some of that seasonal mentality anyways, seasonal demand. And then also looking at South America that can still show us some crop problems and issues, at least some minor ones here. All right, I like this up move, but I'm looking for a level 4 top today, tomorrow, a pullback the next 2 days probably, okay? Even though it's above the 5-day average, I just don't trust it. And I think it should pull back, but until it takes out Friday's low, there's a chance it's just going to move sideways into a level 3 bottom higher still. So I also think if it takes out last week's high, okay, 10.15 and 3/4, if I'm looking at that correctly, double check that, okay, the high on the last, let's see, what would that be? That would be Friday, Thursday, okay? Takes that out, I want to start doing critical point projections that might show us 1030s, and that might work fundamentally. So I'm kind of watching this. I don't think it's really a level 3 buy, but I feel like I'm running behind a bit. And I'm feeling like maybe the idea of some strength in Jan Feb's looking even better still. In the corn and the wheat, they can pull them back maybe a little more than the soybeans, but I also think they probably got more upside in Jan Feb. Got to look for ways to latch onto this somehow, manage it short term, take short term profits along the way. I don't trust the Jan Feb up move for a nice, easy, big run, but I'd like to take bits and pieces out of it, and we may have to have that mentality for a long time to come. But I do think the long-term trend and seasonal trend are bullish into summer, all 3 markets. Past results are not necessarily indicative of future markets. By the way, wheat's probably up a little, and maybe corn and soybeans because of a sudden setback in the dollar. But we're not seeing that in the interest rates, and I wonder what the dollar is really doing here. Is it Trump playing for 2025? Is it something else? Is it a relationship around the world of what's going on here? But it doesn't appear to be linked to interest rates, okay? All right, past results are not necessarily indicative of future results. Thank you.